Hello, and welcome back to the Commander's Guide to Casting the Last Spell. I'm Jade Star, and this is still Gildenburg. It's going to be day 3 and night 4. Following last night's defense, we have some more resources to spend. We have 8 workers to get working. We're going to start by digging up ruins. We can get one more house for a total of 12 workers. We should have the money to build it and fully upgrade it. And we only have one worker more of ruins to dig up. There we go, plenty of money. So we have our... oh wait, I'm missing one. There it is. Okay, a little bit less money, but we now have our full workforce for the rest of the haven. And we're out of ruins, so our haven is clear for building anything we want, but it also means there's no more convenient diggable resources. So what are we going to do with these workers? Well, we're going to dig up corpses. 16 gold per worker isn't great, but what else was I going to do with them? Gildenburg, as I've mentioned in the thread, is a little bit odd when you start the very first time, because we don't have all of the things unlocked. I was just really thinking, that was a rhetorical question, what are we going to do without them? Well, the answer would be unlocks, and you would have facilities to actually have them go work at, which we might be unlocking now. Gwentine, if you don't remember, was the town from the intro, which was the first town that got magically nuked. Ah, yes, here we are, the gold mine. So when you don't have bodies to dig up and you have workers that need to do something, gold mines provide opportunity to turn workers into cash. Or at least put them to work for cash. We're not actually like selling the workers into slavery for cash. That'd be silly. Scavenger camps are the same thing, but for materials, for your defenses. And seeing as I have a bit of money left over, we can put gold mines down. Where you place facilities can become a sort of strategy in itself. Every building needs to have not adjacency. It needs to have open space adjacent to it. So you need a path around it. Everything needs to have a room to move past. But those areas can overlap, like with the houses or the space between the two gold mines. And planning your haven can make a difference. The gold mines, much like the houses, can be upgraded to produce extra gold per cycle. The gold mines will produce their gold once free every morning, and then you can send workers in for more. The upgrade to increase productivity costs 60 gold and increases productivity from 25 to 40, so a gain of 15 per activation. So if you let it run passively, that means you need at least 4 days for that upgrade to even break even, and a 5th day to become positive. But if you're going to slam workers into it to get it to pay out more often, that changes the math. Gildenburg is a fairly short haven at 7 days, and we're only now just getting to build gold mines, meaning maybe they won't pay off if I do that upgrade. But we're not going to have a whole lot else to spend our money on, so, yeah, we'll see. Stat-ups. Movement on melee fighters is always great. Physical damage is great for a melee fighter as well, so good upgrades here for Jack. And I can get even more movement with nimbleness. Now this requires that he remains unwounded, but that's usually not a problem. 2 movement is a lot, and 15 dodge also just helps him keep alive. Oh, finally, accuracy for our archer, who's sitting at 0. Excellent. That's a very good one. And opportunism... I don't have mark on the archer, on Jossar. Well, I'll try to find a way to exploit it later. Opportunism is a good way to get extra damage on things. And taking cheer. 3 move points is just so hard to pass up, especially since she's only at 6. That's a lot of move. Experience gain is tempting, but there's only like 4 knights. Could be good. Isolation could be good. Probably would have had my mind tipped one way or the other if one of them was a higher quality level up. One with nature is an interesting ability. You can get a lot out of it, like 5% damage per empty slot adds up quick. And the more empty slots you get, the more bonuses you get. You start getting some dodge. At 4 stacks, you get an action perk, or action point. That's pretty good. And apparently, if you just go completely no gear, your punches start doing 100% damage. So I don't know, crippling punch plus that, and you could have an elf martial artist? It'd be really weird. I've never tried that. I don't know why you would. The downside is that you don't get any of those abilities as you equip your hero. So it's good early when you might have empty slots like we do now, but it will be bad later when you have enough money or resources to kit out your heroes. Oh, a nice book. But I bought a book yesterday. But I like this hat. A little bit of survivability, but that 5% accuracy is going to be useful. And then I'm going to remember... Jossar is claustrophobic and won't wear a hat. The traits that disable your characters from wearing gear in a slot are really the worst. So I probably, if I had remembered that, would have taken the book, but I didn't. So now the mage has the hat. Hooray. We will get better heroes eventually. And by better heroes, I mean just those 3 traits that they have will eventually... You'll get less negative ones. Top up her mana, because her mana adds to just flat damage. I really like Fueled by Magic. It feeds into my giant robotic crab syndrome of not ever wanting to spend mana. So, my not spending mana just adds to flat damage increase, and that flat damage increase feeds into not having to need to use mana to kill things. It's great, and definitely not enabling my giant robotic crab syndrome. Trying to remember why I wanted that hand crossbow. I think I just wanted something that wasn't like level 0 starter, but the crossbow wasn't great. But it does do 2 very handy things, the crossbow, or at least the hand crossbow. Its primary attack is armor piercing, so if we see armored clawers, it can deal with them very efficiently. Usually to the point where, because it's armor piercing, the armored have less actual HP, and because it's multi-hits, you can spend 1 AP to shoot 2 of them dead. So it's really great for that. The second thing is the hand crossbow has poison, which does damage over time, as you'd expect, but it also slows things down. And a lot of the time, you can use poison to sort of, I don't know, safely deal with things. We might see how I use it. I played this yesterday, so I don't remember exactly how the night plays out. But for example here, these Kindled, with their high damage resistance, are going to be a problem for our bowmen, right? They were last time. Poison doesn't care about resistance. Poison just happens. Also, the attack Slow Death, the poison on the hand crossbow, is just apply poison. It's not a damage attack. It can't be dodged, is the relevant point. So the hand crossbow gives you a way to deal with armored enemies, resistant enemies, and incredibly dodgy enemies. Poison might be a bit of a slow solution for those high resistant or dodge enemies, but it's still at least a solution, and it's pretty good at it. Poison damage can be increased with a secondary stat on level ups or on gear. And depending on how good your gear is and how much of that stat you have, poison can be either incredibly effective, killing things in 1 or 2 turns, or it can just kind of soften them up and tick, and at least then make them weak enough for somebody to finish off a turn or 2 later with a real attack. So here it is, currently doing 94 points of damage. So not enough to kill a standard clawer on the turn you apply poison to. But that's still a lot. Now this flyer is going to live a little while, and I'm going to put a second one on it to make sure it dies at the start of, not next turn, but the turn after. And it also applies negative move, so that flyer isn't going to go very far this turn, because it's losing 2 movement from the poison. It's going to get wounded from the poison and lose more movement. And then at the start of the turn after that, it's just going to die. So if you have a little bit of time and space, like if you don't need an enemy dead by the end of your turn, poison can be really effective for that. And if you can get the poison value up much higher, you can one-turn things that might otherwise dodge or resist, like Kindled. 94 health is probably enough to kill one of these Kindled. Using the wand because its attack is undodgeable on the runners because they're very dodgy. So this wave is very spread out. They are coming in off the map edge, just across the board from the corner to corner. Oh yeah, so this winged has no more movement. It has 5 movement, and the poison is costing it 2, and being severely wounded is costing it 3. It's really great. As I was saying about the wave, this thing is from corner to corner, coming in all across the southwest edge. And sometimes that's a good thing, but usually I don't like it. I have to cover a lot more ground this way. Like, there are these guys way, way out there. We picked up some good movement points from level ups, so it's not terrible. But generally speaking, it's easier if the clawers come in kind of a clump. You have to maneuver less, your heroes probably have more targets in range, and if you have area of effect abilities or propagating abilities, it makes it a lot easier if they're in a cluster, like this. A little early in the night, but that was just a really ideal chance for a lightning bolt. There's still like 10 of them up there. Alright, there's a lot of them over there. But they have to go diagonally. So visually it seems like they're kind of almost as close as like the rest of them, but they actually are farther away, and that trips me up sometimes. So we have a little bit of time with the mage. In fact, we still have a little time down there in the bottom corner with the pile of kindled down in the corner. But Jack is melee. Jack needs to commit to like one side or another. Doing my usual counting tiles, looking at the red, where they can move, making sure Jack is somewhere safe at the end of his turn. Then I think I have decided that Jack can handle all of these claws, and that Jossar has to cut across the front of the fort and go help with the other side of things. But I can't reach like anything after moving, so we're gonna try to spend all of our AP here attacking, and then we're gonna run to the northwest. That's a pretty good lightning bolt, yeah. Runners are usually a priority for me just because of their movement range. They don't deal a whole lot of damage, and in fact, I think runners are one of the enemies that try to just bypass you and get to the magic circle as fast as possible, so they might not even bother attacking your heroes on the way past them. But they still seem like a really bad idea to ignore. And because we've got full walls, they're gonna hit something. Even if it's not a hero. Make sure Jack is protected. Put him as far out of harm's reach as I can. Another lightning would. There's a chance that it'll branch off and end prematurely. Gotta kill that guy first. I wanted to run Jassar farther northwest, but more things came in here in the middle. So I'm starting to feel a little pressured. There's a lot of targets, they're starting to get close to the walls. I feel like I maybe don't have enough AP to deal with all of them. But these guys are wounded. Those guys are going to be slow. Maybe if I just focus on the middle pack. I don't even need to kill all of them. Just need to wound them so they go less distance. I'm upset that wasn't a kill. Really hoping for kills, but they're all wounded, so they're all going to move half speed. So I've bought myself at least another turn to deal with them. They'll get a little closer, and we can manage next turn, hopefully. If these all line up on the tracks like that, at least Jack has an easy way of dealing with a line of zombies. We'll be alright. There's still too many of them, and too many of them that are at full health. I suppose I always feel like that at the start of my turn. There's just, it always seems like there's too many. So rather than deal with their high resistances, I can just poison them. That'll kill the kindled. It'll slow down the flyer to the point where it'll die of poison before it can do anything meaningful, like attack the walls. Magic Missile's real good at finishing off wounded enemies. I was 2 AP for 4 kills. Could probably do that again by the pile of wounded zombies by the minecart to the top left. But I'm really going through my mana. Because Jack attacked all 5 times, I didn't get to use his defensive ability on his armor, and that kindled actually got through his armor and dealt a little bit of HP damage. Now, it doesn't matter. He'll regain that HP at the morning. But it was surprising in the moment, because I forgot that Jack is Berserker and he has less armor. Actually, almost no armor, unless he uses the ability. And again, I've kind of put him somewhere where he's not 100% safe, although at least I left the AP to get some more armor. Now there's a lot over here, but I think we've thinned it out enough. I think we're okay between the two of them. They shouldn't get to the walls. I do need to kill them, like that flyer is at very low health, but it is still right there. Actually scoring hits on the first attack, or kills in one attack instead of leaving them crippled, really helpful. Alright, we got a pile of wounded zombies. I realize it's great that the wounded zombies move slower, and I guess take precedence, or at least are creating a slower front that their faster friends can't get through. There's just too many of them. All the spaces that the faster friends could try to move towards are occupied by slow and wounded. Finally getting a lot of value out of Fatality. And Tight Volley is a pretty good value. 2 AP, 2 mana, hits 6 targets. I like it. Spending a little mana on that with the last turn, she'll regen it by morning. And it thins out the horde, and now we're in an easy situation. A lot of the times, the big dense clusters can be handled pretty effectively by using your mana spending abilities. I don't remember if I showed off or not, but yeah, the big green skull symbol means that this enemy will die to poison when you hit end turn. It's great. I think I was just trying to show off Fireball. We have enough mana regen that this won't matter. It's good. It's a little bit expensive at 2 AP for mana, but it'll hit 5 targets and is armor piercing. So there are definitely times where the armor piercing nature of it is more desirable, and sometimes it's more desirable to have the area of effect. It's a versatile spell. And that'll be it for night 4. Everybody levels up, excellent. A lot of money and resources, excellent. Oof, the mist is getting closer. Well, the next night looks like we're going to have about the same strength of a wave from the southwest, but also a tiny bit from the southeast. But we're going to have some new unlocks in the Orichalcum that might help us deal with that. I will see you then for the next video. Thank you all for watching.